Alexander Lamontes here, lawyer and host of this show, where I sit down with personal injury attorneys, doctors, bar association members, and past plaintiffs to talk about the intricacies of personal injury litigation. Thanks for tuning into this special episode where we take a look back at some of our favorite conversations with previous guests. It's brought to you by Hurst Lamontes, a personal injury law firm based in Indiana. Founded in 1981, Hurst Lamontes LLC is one of the few firms whose practice focuses exclusively on personal injury cases. No matter how complex the case or how significant the injury is, we aim to make the process as stress-free as possible for clients. Our attorneys have represented thousands of injured clients and obtained hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Have you or a family member been a personal injury victim in Indiana? Contact our dedicated team of personal injury lawyers at billhurst.com or email alamontes@billhurst.com. Now, let's look back at parts of our favorite conversations from past episodes.
I was at a situation where I needed someone to help me, just like I needed to free my time up. And he was really good at getting business too. And so it's fantastic. Getting business is always good, but like I wasn't freeing my time up in the way I wanted to. So I ended up putting another ad out and hiring attorney Matthew Crows. And Matt's still with me to this day too. And Matt is just very different personality in some ways than me, because also probably a little too similar, lots of ways too. But just absolute team player. And again, clients connected with him very well. And I specifically made it so that this job was to free my time up. So he started going to court more and more for me. And then something magical happened. When I wasn't in court every session, every day, I could actually have time to market and provide better customer service as opposed to 15 minutes for court. The business started growing.
And if you never experienced trial yourself, how can you speak with any level of credibility about that point? So I think a good mediator is someone who knows the courtroom, knows how judges and juries think, and can speak with a level of credibility about that. And I think it would be difficult for a non-litigator to be a super successful mediator. There might be some occasional examples of that, but I think as a matter of credibility and experience, that's important. Another piece of advice I have is remember the very lawyers that you are litigating against now are your future clients if you want to be a mediator. So I think we should all be civil. And we should all be professional, and we should all treat this as a job that we're all just trying to do the best we can inside the professional rules of conduct. But don't be a scorched earther. Don't be a difficult person. Don't make snide comments. Because people will remember that, and then they won't hire you. So my advice, in sum, to someone who wants to get in litigation or in mediation, whether it's 30 years from now or very soon, is evaluate, have you done a good job of acquiring the requisite experience so that you have credibility?
And then you have the jury deciding it. So you have these people who understand this person's pain and suffering, and they feel the pain, and they want to compensate that person for it. Yeah. So instead of putting it in front of an adjuster who's got this formulation they plug into a computer and outspit some percentage of number, you have a jury who relates to it, they get it, and you can tell your client's story. And so anyway, I think that's a huge part of it. It's just being able to put it in front of real people and give the human story. Yeah. You have such a good chance of really getting a good verdict that way versus just settling for whatever the adjuster thinks it is.
I talk about pregnancy discrimination a lot because there's not a lot of people who, I think, again, as a woman who's an attorney, as a mother who's an attorney, I'm really in a great position to understand these situations because I've gone through a lot of them myself.
Right.
So there's a variety of motives for why employers will fire a woman, but statistically, it's a bad financial idea because women, mothers in particularly, statistically make up the best workers. They're the most motivated to provide everything that their children need, to advance, to show their children good role models. Mothers are very stable workers and very loyal, and generally, they make up a very important part of the workforce. And I don't think that a lot of employers, understand or recognize this.
there is that thought at some of the bigger firms is that you have to take a case to trial to prove that you'll take all the cases to trial.
Yeah.
Because, so the person kind of becomes a casualty.
Right.
For the greater good, I guess. Yeah. And so it's, for me, I work with clients to meet their individual needs, because there's always going to be cases you're going to try.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a case, in moving forward that's going to go to trial, that just needs to go to trial and is going to go to trial. But if you have a client that doesn't want to go to trial, you shouldn't substitute your judgment for theirs.
Right.
You can give them advice and you can tell them, oh, this is fair or not fair, or you should hold off for this or that. But in the end, what they want, what's best for them, what's best for their mental health and for their wellness and for their life moving forward, you need to provide the proper closure for them whenever they need it.